The Empire had conquered 17 star systems before they found Earth. Their ships were massive. Their weapons could burn entire cities in seconds. They had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years, and every species they met had fallen before them. They were hunters. They believed the universe belonged to the strong, and the weak existed only to serve or die. When their scouts first detected human radio signals, they laughed. The signals were primitive. The technology was ancient by galactic standards. They sent a small fleet to investigate this new world. What they found made them very happy. Earth was a beautiful planet full of resources. The humans had no defensive shields. They had no energy weapons. They had nothing that could threaten a warship. High Commander stood on the bridge of his flagship and watched the blue planet spin slowly below him. His scales gleamed under the ship's lights. His 4 eyes studied the human cities with hunger. They build their homes from stone and metal, his second officer reported. Their weapons use chemical explosions. They fight each other with projectiles. They are children playing with toys. Clicked his claws together in amusement. Send the message. Tell them to surrender. Tell them they are now property of the Empire. If they resist, we will burn their largest city as an example. The message was sent. The humans received it, and then something strange happened. The humans said no. Could not believe it. No species had ever refused. Every race they had encountered understood that resistance meant death. But these soft, pink creatures on their little blue world had looked at his mighty fleet and said they would not surrender. They said they would fight. Fools, growled, burn their city, show them what happens to those who defy us. The ships moved into position over a massive human city. Millions of people lived there. The weapons powered up, gave the order to fire. But the weapons did not fire. Commander, the weapons officer said, his voice confused. Our targeting systems are not responding. Something is wrong with our computers. His 4 eyes widened. What do you mean? I do not know, Commander. There is something inside our network. It is spreading through every system. Our weapons are locked. Our engines are slowing down. I cannot stop it. The lights on the bridge flickered. Every screen filled with strange symbols. Then a human voice spoke through their own communication system. You made a mistake coming here, the voice said calmly. You thought we were weak because our technology is young. You did not understand that young does not mean stupid. While you were sending your message, we were already inside your ships. Your computers run on logic and code just like ours. It took us 47 minutes to crack your encryption. Your weapons belong to us now. Felt something he had never felt before. Fear. This is impossible. No primitive species could breach security. You called us primitive, the human voice continued. But you forgot something important. We have been fighting each other for our entire history. We have survived ice ages, plagues, and wars that killed millions. We have been predators and prey. We have been both. We know how to think like hunters because we are hunters. We know how to think like prey because we learned to outsmart every predator that tried to eat us. You are not the first threat we have faced. You are just the latest. The fleet hung helpless in orbit. Their mighty warships were now nothing more than metal boxes floating in space. Every system was controlled by human hackers sitting in rooms thousands of kilometers below. Ordered his soldiers to prepare for manual override. But the humans had thought of that too. The ship's internal doors locked. The life support systems began to change the air mixture. Not enough to kill, just enough to make the crew weak and dizzy. You have 2 choices, the human voice said. Leave our system and never return, or stay and become the first species to learn what happens when you corner a human. We do not like being cornered. It makes us creative. Wanted to fight. His pride screamed at him to find a way to destroy these insects, but his fleet was helpless. His crew was struggling to breathe. And somewhere in the back of his ancient hunter's mind, an instinct was waking up. An instinct he had not felt in centuries. The instinct of prey recognizing a predator. We will leave, he said through clenched teeth. The humans released their control of the ships. The fleet retreated from Earth space. They returned to their empire with a warning: do not touch the humans. They are not prey. But the emperor did not listen. Emperor was old and proud. He had conquered more worlds than any ruler before him. He would not accept that a primitive species had humiliated his fleet. He gathered the largest armada in history: 5,000 warships, 10 million soldiers, weapons that could crack planets open like eggs. "We will not use computers to fight them," Emperor announced. "We will land our troops. We will fight them face to face. We will crush them with our claws and teeth. Let them try their tricks against warriors in battle." The armada arrived at Earth 6 months later. This time, the humans did not try to hack their ships. They let the land. They let 10 million alien soldiers pour onto their planet. They were confident. They were larger than humans, stronger. Their scales could stop primitive bullets. Their claws could tear through metal. In straight combat, one was worth 10 humans. The first battle seemed to prove this. Forces swept through coastal cities. Human defenders fell back. The aliens celebrated their victories. But then things began to change. The humans did not fight fair. They did not stand in open fields waiting to be killed. They attacked at night when eyes were weakest. They hid in buildings and tunnels and struck from shadows. They used weapons they had never seen before: explosives hidden under roads, poisons mixed into water supplies, drones the size of insects that carried cameras and tiny bombs. They realized too late that Earth was not one battlefield. It was millions of small battlefields. Every city was a trap. Every forest was an ambush. Every human, whether soldier or farmer or teacher, was a potential enemy. General Thrax led the ground forces. He had conquered 12 worlds. He had never lost a campaign. But Earth was breaking him. His soldiers were dying in ways he could not predict. They were being killed by children with homemade explosives. They were being poisoned by grandmothers who smiled as they served contaminated food. They were being hunted by farmers who knew every centimeter of their land. "They do not fight like soldiers," Thrax reported to the Emperor. "They fight like animals. They have no honor. They use everything as a weapon. Their entire civilization is designed for war. Every factory can make weapons. Every citizen knows how to kill. They have been preparing for invasion their whole lives, even if they did not know it." The Emperor demanded results. Thrax pushed harder, but the harder he pushed, the worse things became. The humans adapted faster than any species Thrax had ever seen. In the first week, armor was almost invincible. By the second week, humans had developed new ammunition that could pierce it. In the first month, air support dominated the skies. By the second month, human engineers had built anti-air weapons from spare parts and stolen technology. The humans learned from every battle. They shared information instantly across their entire planet. A tactic that worked in one city was being used everywhere within hours. They were not just fighting. They were evolving. And then the humans did something that terrified them more than anything else. They started taking prisoners, not to torture, not to execute, to talk. Human psychologists studied captured. They learned their language. They learned their culture. They learned their fears. And they used that knowledge to break morale in ways that weapons never could. Propaganda broadcasts in perfect language told soldiers that their emperor had abandoned them, that their families at home had forgotten them, that the war was already lost and they were dying for nothing. Some broadcasts were lies. Some were truth. They could not tell the difference. Soldiers began to surrender. Officers began to question orders. The mighty army was falling apart from the inside. General Thrax sent a final message to Emperor. "We cannot win this war. The humans are not prey. They were never prey. They are the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. They were just waiting for something worth hunting." Emperor refused to retreat. His pride would not allow it, so the humans made the decision for him. A small team of human soldiers infiltrated a command ship. They were not super soldiers. They were not genetically enhanced. They were ordinary humans who had trained for years in the art of impossible missions. They moved through the ship like ghosts. They avoided detection systems that were supposed to be perfect. They reached the bridge and captured General Thrax himself. The message they sent back to them was simple. Your general is our guest now. Your army is surrounded. Your fleet is running out of supplies. You can continue this war and lose everything. Or you can leave and tell the galaxy what happens when someone attacks Earth. Your choice. The Empire chose survival. They from Earth. They signed a treaty promising never to return, and they spread the word to every corner of the galaxy. Do not attack the humans. They look soft. They seem weak. Their technology is primitive, but they are not prey. They have never been prey. They are predators wearing the skin of prey. They will let you think you are winning until the moment they destroy you. Other empires heard the warning. Some believed it. Some did not. Those who did not believe learned the hard way. The collective tried to enslave human colonies. The humans burned there. The Dominion tried to use humans as cattle. The humans organized a slave uprising that freed 12 species and created a new alliance. The machine consensus tried to eliminate humans as a threat. The humans uploaded a virus that turned their own drones against them. Each time the pattern was the same. Someone underestimated humanity. Someone thought they could be controlled or conquered or destroyed. And each time humanity proved them wrong. Within 200 years, humans had gone from a primitive species on a single planet to one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy. Not because they were the strongest, not because they had the best technology, but because they never, ever gave up. The old empires learned to respect them. The young species learned to admire them. And everyone learned the truth that they had discovered too late. Humans were never prey. They were predators who had learned patience. They were hunters who wore the mask of the hunted, and when the mask came off, the galaxy trembled. The universe had been ruled by the strong for millions of years, but strength meant nothing against a species that could adapt to anything, survive anything, and overcome anything. The humans did not need to be the strongest. They just needed to be the most stubborn. And no one in the galaxy was more stubborn than humanity. The stars belonged to the hunters now, not the ancient empires. The stars belonged to the soft pink creatures from the small blue world who had looked at the universe and said one simple word: